Good evening. How is everyone doing? This is Tracy Gibbs, Chief Science Officer for LifeWise. And I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to find this live and jump on in there. How you doing, Diane? Diane, not too far from me. As far as the country goes, she's only about 45 minutes up in northern Utah. Rob, how you doing, partner? Ronnie, good to have you on. Jeanette's here. I've got a really exciting training tonight. In fact, I've got a slight headache because my brain has been frying, literally going over the clinical studies that I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. I'll mention later how many ongoing clinical studies are being done on the particular molecule and ingredient that I'm going to be talking about tonight. But scouring over those 145 plus studies and deciding which ones to talk about, because I could only have time to talk about 4 or 5 of them. So yeah, my brain is exploding because I've got tons of science in my head right now. And at the same time, some of these studies are super technical. So I've got to explain it in a way to where everyone can understand it. But at the same time, I chose some of these studies not because they're technical, but because they are literally earth-shattering, groundbreaking information that you guys need to have, that you need to know about. And, I'm just going to let it all loose here because some of these studies are going to blow your mind. But I want to welcome you all tonight to In the Lab with Dr. Tracy Gibbs, again, Chief Science Officer for LifeWise. I am especially honored to be talking tonight after the announcements that Rob made yesterday. If you guys haven't seen that, go to Rob's page, Hope Broker's page, the LifeWise page. Hopefully we have it on our YouTube channel up shortly so that everyone can see the information that Rob gave yesterday and the specials we've got going on for the next month about getting this amazing product, Shield, for free, and all the different ways you can get free Shield throughout the month of December. So go back and watch his live if you haven't seen that. Tonight's training in the lab corresponds directly with those promos that we're doing on how to get free Shield. And in particular, I'm going to be talking about one of the hero ingredients found in Shield. And it's an ingredient I've talked about before. And if you're familiar with LifeWise, then you know I'm going to be talking about GMI, the Ganoderma microsporum immunomodulatory protein or peptide, all right? GMI for short. If you're new and you haven't been able to watch this training, please, please, please take notes. And please, please, please share, share, share. All right. You guys are going to love what I'm going to be talking about. So let's go over Shield. When you open up your packet of Shield, one of the first things you'll see is this interesting ingredient right up here called GMI. All right. I get tons of questions still. Well, what is GMI? Tell me more about GMI. So I'm going to talk a little bit about GMI tonight. First of all, if you want to know the full name, I will say it more slowly, and hopefully somebody, usually let's say Ren or who's my spell checkers out there who already know this ingredient and have already done their research on it. Ganoderma microsporum immunomodulatory protein. Okay, you can also end Ganoderma microsporum immunomodulatory peptide, because peptides are proteins. They're chains of amino acids, and that's exactly what this particular ingredient is all about. It's considered a smart protein, okay? So this particular Ganoderma microsporum immunomodulatory peptide is a smart protein, and I'll talk about how and why we call it that later. But just know that first and foremost, people ask me the source of this. Now, if you just Google Ganoderma, that, of course, is the Latin name for the reishi mushroom. And people answer all the time and say, oh, well, reishi mushroom, there's already reishi mushroom supplements out there. Yes, there are, and I love them. They're great. They're full of beta-glucan, which is a great polysaccharide that helps boost immunity, and it feeds and nourishes your white blood cells. There's tons of studies on reishi mushroom. However, this is not a reishi mushroom. This peptide is from the spore. So I guess you could call it the seed or the egg, the spore of the reishi mushroom. And it's only found in a particular growth stage of that spore. It's a very complex extraction process. In fact, we have 22 different patents on this product. 3 of those patents are for the extraction methods. Other people have tried to extract this peptide. In any case, it's destroyed. You can only extract it one particular way, and that's a way that's already tied up in multiple patents by the founder of this particular peptide, Dr. Xu in Taiwan. So don't think that you can just go out there and buy reishi mushroom and get the same results, because it is not the same thing. This is not a beta-glucan. GMI is a peptide or molecule in and of itself, separate and outside of beta-glucans that are commonly found in reishi and maitake and shiitake mushrooms, things like that. All right. I am going to, I have to tell you more about GMI first before I get into the studies. So GMI is a peptide of 111 amino acid chains that are similar in resemblance to IgG factors in our body. If you know anything about immunoglobulins, these are nutrients that transfer signals and transfer immunity to our white blood cells. So GMI is similar in function to an IgG in that it is a command molecule, meaning it doesn't really nourish the body. It commands the cells to do certain things. It's totally different than something that just nourishes the cell. Nourishing the cell is great. We need nutrients, right? And nutrients help feed our cells and give our cells energy. But there are certain command signals like IgG factors in the body or like GMI that actually tell your cells to do certain things. GMI is a command molecule, okay? It takes command, and here's what's cool, and I'll share studies with you later. It actually commands your body to produce more stem cells, okay? That's one of the commands it does. It also commands NK cells into increasing their activity. That's your natural killer cells. I'll get into that study later too. In fact, those are 2 particular studies I'm going to share. So unlike regular nutrients, GMI is a command peptide, all right? Another cool thing about GMI and what makes it so effective on our oral strips is that the clinical studies done on GMI were in microgram doses, okay? Not milligrams, not grams. You don't have to take a whole scoop of it to get any beneficial effects, like you would have to do with a lot of mushroom extracts. In fact, I was just talking yesterday with one of our partners about an extract from reishi or shiitake and maitake mushrooms, and the fact that you would have to literally eat kilograms of those mushrooms, which, is doable. Mushrooms are a food, and you can saute them or put them in soups and things like that, and you can eat hundreds of grams or even a kilogram of mushrooms, and yeah, it's very beneficial for you, but again, who wants to do that every single day, especially if they don't taste good? GMI, though, was active in microgram doses, and it was studied at 100 micrograms, 200 micrograms, and 300 microgram doses to be super efficacious. In fact, the 300 microgram dose, which I'll share here in a study later on, was effective at minimizing, reducing cell growth and completely eliminating over 60 different types of cancers at only 300 micrograms. It's incredible. It's incredibly powerful at very small doses, all right? So I want you to remember that about GMI as well, which is why it's perfect for the oral strip delivery that we use at LifeWise. And this thing's yummy. If you guys haven't tried it yet, you need to. All right, let's move on. I'm going to cover right here. I'm going to show you this page. There are over 23 patents on GMI. And I'm going to just read you the categories. First of all, there are 8 different patents on cancer treatment for GMI. There are 3 different patents at the PM 2.5 damage reduction. That's actually a clinical study I'll be reducing or talking about later. PM 2.5 are microparticles in the air that actually literally kill millions of people every year throughout the world. These are the toxic microparticles that get into our lungs. They cause cancer, they cause cellular damage, they cause lupus, multiple sclerosis, all these diseases of inflammation. There's over 3 patents on these microparticulate treatments, okay? There's 2 patents for chronic wound. There are 3 patents for neuroregeneration on GMI. There's 2 structural patents on the actual structure of the peptide itself, the 111 amino acid chains, right? There's 2 anti-fibrosis patents, and there's 4 international patents on stem cell growth. You guys, my friends, my partners, if you can still, looks like I got cut off temporarily. Hopefully, give me a thumbs up or somebody make a comment if you can hear me again. Yeah, I'm getting people saying it's frozen. I'm going to start again. It looks like I'm ready to go again, I hope. I don't know why I froze, but I did. I've got great internet connection here, so something happened. So I was mentioning there are 4 patents on stem cell growth and stem cell signaling to activate more stem cells. There are many of my friends that may be watching this, and if not, maybe you can share it with them, who have run off to a company that claims they have clinical studies for stem cell activation in a patch. I asked for copies from corporate office, their corporate office on that study, and I was given, number 1, a white paper. And the white paper was on some type of rolled herbs, balls out of South Africa that supposedly contain some ingredient that activates stem cells. And there was actually no studies done on the patch itself and no studies done on the ingredient. 0. Now, I'm not here to bash other companies. I just know that lots of people say that things are clinically proven, and many times it's completely bogus. I'm here to tell you, and I'm about to show you, that we have actual clinical studies for stem cell activation on GMI at only 100 micrograms. That's only 1 strip per day. Now, I take 2 or 3 of these. For the last couple of days, I've been taking 4 or 5 because there's something going around. And I started getting a sore throat. I started getting a little ear infection. This ear was starting to bother me. In only 2 days of doubling my dose of this, it was completely gone. But I'm going to show you, we have right here 4 separate patents on stem cell growth on GMI, all right? So 23 patents, 43 peer-reviewed clinical studies with another 100 plus ongoing studies right now. I'm going to read to you the studies that have been done and the studies that are ongoing right now. We have multiple studies at 100 micrograms per day for immunomodulation. This includes anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, anti-cytokine storm. You guys have heard that term before, right? The cytokine storms that happen when you get vaxxed or when you get COVID. Oh man, I said the C word. Oh no. But that's the studies that we're going right now, all right? Anti-cytokine storm. We have about 8 published clinical studies on preventing the cytokine storm and about another 30 that are being conducted right now. We have studies on NK cell activation. We have studies on two-way immunomodulation. All of these studies are being done at 100 micrograms, which is only one a day. One a day. That's like $1.20 a day. Okay? It's crazy nuts how effective this product is. At 200 micrograms per day, so 2 of these strips per day, we have published peer-reviewed studies on increased cognitive ability in children, prevention of dementia, neurodegenerative neurodisease repair, mitochondria repair, myogenic cell repair, chronic wound repair, intestinal tract and mucosal repair, a decrease in post-surgery infections, and a decrease in PM 2.5 damage. That's the study I'll share with you later, that the microparticulates, all right, that are in every major metropolis in the world. And even if you live outside of them, the air quality is still bad if you live near a city, all right? At 300 micrograms per day, which is the equivalent of 3 strips per day, we have ongoing studies for the promotion of stem cell growth, the promotion of sperm activity. Oh man, I don't want to say the next one because it's really going to red flag me, but there are ongoing studies and published peer-reviewed studies on the prevention of COVID-19 infections, okay, at 300 micrograms per dose. The next one's going to get me in trouble too, but again, I'm talking about a particular ingredient right here, GMI, and I'm not going to lie about the studies that are going on. I'm talking about these studies that are being conducted, and some have already been published and peer-reviewed at 1 to 300 micrograms per day on inhibition of cancer cell growth and metastasis inhibition, induction of cancer cell death, decreased side effects after treatment or with treatment in cancer. And one of those studies I'm actually going to be talking about. It's a very technical study, but hopefully there's doctors listening. More importantly, hopefully there's oncologists listening, because a very common side effect from chemotherapy treatment, something that affects roughly 7 to 9% of all chemotherapy patients, is completely alleviated at 300 micrograms per day, so 3 strips per day in this peer-reviewed published study. All right, moving on. I've already talked about that we at LifeWise have the worldwide exclusivity for GMI in the direct cells industry. Okay? You can only get it here. Period. I want to show right here, if you can read this, this was approved by the US FDA as a novel food ingredient. That's a letter from the FDA stating that GMI is a new dietary ingredient. It is not a drug, all right? Not a drug. Ganoderma microsporum immunomodulatory peptide is considered by the United States FDA as a new dietary ingredient. That's something I wanted to share with you. Now, let's go over some of these cool studies, you guys. First of all, first study I'm going to share is on NK cell activity boosting. GMI at 100 micrograms was shown to increase NK cell activity by more than 20% in only 2 weeks of use. 2 weeks of doing 1 strip a day has been shown to boost NK cell activity by over 20%. There's a copy of the study right here. Little, you guys won't understand this. It doesn't matter, but I'm showing it to you, okay? Basically says right there, for healthy people, 1 GMI strip per day activates NK cells in 2 weeks by over 20%. Then they go on and they did a little extra thing for head and neck cancer patients. Taking 3 GMI strips per day reduces oral mucositis, which is the inflammation of the oral mucosa in cancer patients. Pretty cool, huh? All right. This is the one, study number 2 that I want to show you. This is from the National Cancer Institute, right there. National Cancer Institute on cancer cell lining. Now, you're not going to be able to see all these right here, but the National Cancer Institute studied GMI on over, again, 60 human cancer cell lines, okay? This is not rat studies or anything like that. This is human studies. They found that in over, hold on, I gotta read the paper, in over 15 types of human cancer cells, the cells were completely eliminated at 300 microgram doses of GMI per day. And in over 45 types of human cancers, expressed growth inhibition was shown. So in other words, it inhibited the growth of over 45 different types of cancers and completely reversed, eliminated the cancer cells in over 15 types of human cancers. Okay? Crazy stuff right there. Study number 3 that I'm going to talk about. I talked about that microparticulate. Now, PM 2.5 stands for particulate molecules that are 2.5 microns or smaller. So these are ultra fine air pollutants that air filtration systems can't prevent, that your air conditioning filters and your HVAC filters aren't going to take care of. At 2.5, most of those are rated to a PM of 10. PM of 2.5 is the worry particulates that cause all of the problems that are associated with the carcinogen. If you guys don't know, carcinogen stands for cancer-causing agent. And most of those carcinogens that we inhale or ingest are from these ultra small particulates floating in the air. And it's the reason why we all develop cancer when we're in our 60s and 70s, because we've been inhaling these things for most of our lives. So Dr. Sue decided to do some clinical studies on the damage caused by these 2.5 micron or smaller air particulates. And the study concluded, referring to atmospheric particulate matter that have a diameter of 2.5 micrometers or less, which is about 3% of the diameter of a human hair. Okay, they're super small particulates. I'm sorry, I'm trying to summarize the study here. Again, 300 micrograms of GMI on a daily basis for 60 days reversed the damage caused by these air particulates. So they not only saw a stopping of cellular damage, but they saw a reversal of cellular damage, which means the cells started to repair themselves from this particular part, these ultrafine particulate damaged cells. Okay, the study went on because they went on to look at the offspring of people who had PM 2.5 damage. In other words, your babies, your infants, your children, all right? They showed that subjects who took GMI during pregnancy had an increase in learning ability in the offspring and a decrease in memory impairment. So that's one thing that I failed to mention, that these ultra small particulates tend to cause memory issues. In fact, there are some people that say that it's these aluminum particulates that cause Alzheimer's and other particulates that may cause dementia. And so continuing on in their study, they showed that the learning ability of offspring increased and memory impairments improved in the offspring of mothers who took GMI. GMI protected the neurons from PM 2.5 caused neuron damage in the offspring's hippocampus. So it protected a very important part of the brain in the offspring of children whose mothers were taking the GMI. So that's a pretty cool study I wanted to share. Another study, sorry, I'm fumbling through all my papers here because there's so many cool studies. Most chemotherapy doctors, so most physicians may be aware of what's called 5-FU induced damage to the brain. This is a side effect from chemotherapy, from the most common chemotherapy drug out there. What happens is when you're on chemotherapy treatments, your brain cells start dying too. They begin to die off because chemotherapy is a cytotoxin, meaning it kills cancer cells. So a study was conducted on GMI to show that because of the cellular enhancing signaling, the mitochondrial support and the antioxidant properties of GMI, at only 100 micrograms per day, GMI was shown to increase physiological functions back to optimal or normal states in patients who had suffered from 5-FU induced brain, I'm not going to say brain damage. The actual word is encephalopathy, but you guys may not know what that means. It just means, I guess you could say, yeah, brain damage, brain cell damage induced by chemotherapy. Sorry, I'm struggling trying to dummy this down for you guys. But look, here's the way to do it. Go in Google or internet search 5-FU damage or 5-FU brain damage in chemotherapy patients. Google that and you'll see that it's quite common. It's like 5% to 9% of chemotherapy patients will have or experience brain cellular damage because of the chemotherapy. And GMI showed that only 1 strip per day. So if you're doing chemotherapy, using this as an adjunct or protective from the side effects of chemotherapy for the brain fog or brain damage that occurs, it normalized or back to optimal states, improving nutrient utilization across the board in protecting their brain cells against the damage from the chemotherapy. Just nuts. I mean, crazy, amazing studies we've got on this one ingredient. Okay, last study I'll talk about here. Synergy with other supplements. This is so important to me because look, I love the one. I love taking the one, take it every day. I don't miss it without fail. It's my go-to all-in-one, everything I need product, all right? If you don't know about the one, go watch another video of mine or it's on the YouTube channel. But GMI was studied also at 100 micrograms, so just 1 strip per day. Once again, because it optimizes mitochondrial activity and optimizes cellular communication, in patients who took vitamin supplements, they showed not only an increase of utilization of those vitamins, but an increase in absorption of those vitamins. And it happened for almost all vitamins and nutrients, including essential fatty acids, is what the report says. So basically, everything that's in the one gets better when you use Shield with the one. Is that cool or what? Rob, maybe someday we'll be able to do a one and Shield study or sale or something like that, to where everybody who uses the one and uses the Shield will get to experience this increase in vitamin optimization. In fact, here's a graph of the study right here, where in this group, it increased it by 27% vitamin optimization. So increased your vitamins by 27% vitamin usage. And in this one right here, it increased the strength of antioxidant vitamins by up to 35%. So that's vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin A, carotenoids, beta carotene, any of your antioxidants out there, which, by the way, curcumin is an antioxidant. So that's Restore. That would help increase the efficacy of Restore when combined with Shield. But anyway, this study just blew my mind to show that just 100 micrograms a day or 1 strip a day of this was increasing the not only absorption, but utilization, the cellular utilization of your vitamins. So thought that was cool and wanted to share that. Now, there are many other ingredients we have in Shield. Zinc, vitamin D, quercetin, beta-cyclodextrin. I printed off a wonderful picture of what the beta-cyclodextrin molecule looks like here. This molecule I included not only because It has immune properties all by itself. It's a type of saccharide, polysaccharide, monosaccharide. But it also increases the absorption of almost anything you combine it with. So I thought, when I first saw GMI and saw all the amazing benefits of GMI, I thought, how wonderful would it be, number one, to put in a dissolvable oral strip so it gets right into your bloodstream, but then to combine it with beta-cyclodextrins so that you get an increase in cellular absorption of the GMI, which would also enhance its mitochondrial activity and stem cell growth signaling and all that other stuff that I've talked about today. But all of those ingredients I'll talk about on another day. Today I wanted to focus just on GMI and the amazing qualities of GMI. Please share what you've learned tonight. People need this peptide. GMI should be just as necessary as vitamin C and vitamin D or anything else out there. I want millions of Americans taking GMI every single day. Man, can you imagine how many billions of dollars we would save our healthcare system? We could save Medicare. We could save Medicaid. Because, by the way, taxpayer dollars pay for that stuff, right? You get all these people who aren't taking care of themselves, who tax our medical system that has no oversight. You know, they charge ludicrous amounts of money for a bottle of water in the hospital, a diaper in the hospital. Congratulations, Stephanie, on the birth of your baby. I'm so sorry when you get your bill. Maybe you didn't have it in the hospital. I don't know, your new baby. But man, my son, a diaper was like $25 at the hospital in the bill when they broke down his bill. That's our medical system today. Wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to go to the doctors and spend all that money? So get the word out about GMI and our incredible product, Shield, only sold by LifeWise. You can only get GMI from LifeWise. So thank you for listening tonight and participating. Please share this amazing information. You all have a great night. See you next week.